Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Drugs Milan Unboxing. Today we're going to be talking about a big WBO light heavyweight world title fight between the established star of the old guard Sergey Crusher Kovalev and the young lion Anthony the Beast Yarde, who will be challenging in the backyard of a champion in Chelyabinsk, Russia. Big ups to Yarde for traveling all the way to the champion's backyard. And it's a very interesting matchup. On the one hand, we have Kovalev, who's 33 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, 28 knockouts. And he's been there and he's done that. He's been among the elite of a sport, had his ups and downs, but he's still a champion. Now, Kovalev, we know what he brings to a party. He's from a deep Russian amateur background. He's a boxer puncher. He can box very well, like we saw in his last fight. He can also punch, like his knockouts indicate. Now, burst on the scene, steamrolling Nathan Cleverly to win his first world title. Just went from strength to strength. Added the WBA and IBF versions to his WBO world title by beating Bernard Hopkins. Almost stopped him in the last round. Very impressive performance. And 2 wins over Jean Pascal. And eventually, he ran into Andre Ward. The first fight, he lost by 1 point on each card. I think the slight majority of the people that watched the fight feel that he did enough to win. In the rematch, they were sort of on very even terms, and then eventually Ward caught him with a right hand and then went to the body and stopped Kovalev. But that loss has a bit of an asterisk because Ward got away with a couple of low blows on his way to the stoppage. Yarde's not going to get away with that in Russia. He was back to his winning ways, won a WBO title again against Vyacheslav Shabransky, defended this against Igor Mikhalkin, stopped all these guys. And then he seemed to be on his way to winning against Eleider Alvarez, young undefeated contender, got nailed with a huge right hand, and then he wasn't the same. Alvarez put him down 2 more times, stopped him, and most people thought that, okay, that's it, Kovalev is done at the top level of the sport. But in the rematch, his last fight, he turned boxer again. He boxed beautifully. Alvarez looked for the right hand that never came, didn't have any plan B, and Alvarez just put on a virtuoso boxing performance, and Kovalev, outpointed Alvarez. Now we've got Anthony Yarde going to Russia, and Anthony Yarde, 18-0, 17 knockouts, is a really, really big puncher. That's his style. He's a puncher. He either methodically walks you down, stalks you to land the big shots, or he tries and draw you in and then counters with his shots. He can hit with a right, he can hit with a left hook. He likes that left hook. He can go to the body, and everything it seems that he lands hurts. So a lot of his opponents, they are reluctant to punch, and then they sort of become intimidated. But Yarde has knocked almost everybody out, but he's never been beyond 7 rounds. If I look at his record, that's why he isn't on most of the non-sanctioning bodies' top 10s, because he hasn't really fought anybody. He's fought good fighters with winning records, more experienced fighters, but guys who have lost before, have been stopped before for the most part, have failed when they stepped up to world level. I would really have liked to see Yarde fight a guy like Alvarez or Pascal or Badu Jack before challenging Kovalev. It will make me feel a lot more confident. But a lot of people think he is going to knock Kovalev out and it's going to be a changing of a guard. Now, is he going to? Yes, we can, but yes, will we? I think Yarde he does work the body, but he's not Joe Frazier in terms that he's hitting that body with any consistency, and he doesn't have a finesse in the way he works it off the body snatcher Mike McCallum. He just takes what he can get, and he has got nice balance, he's got nice technique, and he's accurate, but he gets hit on the way in, but his opponents are too intimidated to really throw. And Kovalev is not going to be intimidated. Now, if I'm Kovalev, I'm going to work that jab, because Yarde likes to carry his left hand low and then come over that low left hand with the right hand. But, you know, if you hit Yarde with the right hand, he's going to come back with his left hook. So Kovalev needs to box smart and be sure that he's not going to be there when the retaliation comes. So I think Kovalev, he also throws very nice long shots to the body. They're the same height, they're both 6 foot. So Kovalev needs to use his movement and his skills to keep that fight on the outside. Use his jab with consistency, throwing the right hands, long rights to the body, and keep moving around Anthony Yarde at least for the first few rounds or so. And then he can start throwing his power shots. The question is, we don't know if Anthony Yarde has got a chin. Will he be able to take what Kovalev throws? Because Kovalev will touch him and Kovalev can punch as well. So that will be the interesting thing. If he just walks through Kovalev's punches, we've got a real serious fight on our hands. If Kovalev hurts him, it might come apart for Yarde. So Kovalev has got to be the boxer. He's his own worst enemy in this fight. If he makes a mistake that he did against Alvarez, he's going to be an ex-champion. But I don't think he will. I think he's clever. There are rumors that he's going off the rails, that he's drinking. He's apparently been arrested for drunkenness on the plane. I'm not close enough to the fighters in the action to say this way or that way. If he isn't training seriously, if he's not taking Yarde seriously, he's in trouble. But I just don't think he's going to sit in his hometown of Chelyabinsk and just call it in. He'll never live it off if he does that. So I'm bargaining. We're going to see a Kovalev that's 100% on point. Anthony Yarde will be as well, but Yarde has never gone beyond 7 rounds. He's one of these really big, muscular guys. Sometimes they tend to get winded. Now, if Kovalev needs to take him out of his comfort zone, because Yarde fights at a very consistent pace. He throws 2 or 3 punches, and when he's got the guy in trouble, then he'll go for it. He's he fights like in bursts, a little bit like Jean Pascal, but not quite with that same awkward rhythm, but a little bit more conventional. So for Yarde, he's got to work that body of Kovalev. That's the key to a fight. He's got to do it consistently. I don't think 1 or 2 shots is going to do it. Yes, Alvarez caught Kovalev, but I think Kovalev let his guard down a little bit. So if Kovalev gets too brave too early, that might happen. But I think Yarde has got to up his work rate a little bit. He does have a jab, but there's no consistency in that. He just forgets about it and looks for power shots. He'll need to use his jab. He'll need to set up his punches a lot more than he usually does, and keep going after Kovalev while not getting caught with himself. So there's too many question marks for me around Anthony Yarde. If Kovalev is going off the rails and he's not focused, he's going to capitalize on that and take Kovalev out. But he hasn't shown me in his career enough different looks, enough seasoning, because his opponents didn't stand up for that long. So I don't know what he's going to do when he has to come through the adversity that Kovalev will put him through. So that's a big effect factor on Yarde, and because of that reason, I think that Sergey Kovalev can do so much more than Yarde in that ring. And I think he's going to take him to school, and Yarde will have his moments early, maybe hurt Kovalev and have him wobble here and there. But I think the experience of Kovalev is going to count here against Yarde. Yarde hasn't got a big amateur career either. He's only had a few fights. So if there's going to be a knockout, then it's Kovalev late or Yarde somewhere in the middle or earlier. And if Yarde's going to win, I can't see him winning on points. He's got to win it by knockout. It is a distinct possibility, but I'm going to go with experience. Even though Kovalev is 36, he hasn't been in absolute wars that much. I think the Andre Ward dent in him is more psychological than something else. So as long as he doesn't get overconfident and he's prepared, I think Sergey Kovalev does have the experience, and he does have the versatile skill set to come through the hard spots and win this fight on points, possibly stop Yarde late if Yarde gets shows us that he gets stamina problems late. We have no way of knowing. But I'm gonna say Sergey Kovalev is probably gonna win this one on points. It's just too much experience for Anthony Yarde. Anthony Yarde's got a puncher's chance. So it's a very interesting fight, and I look forward to watching it. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the subscribe button on this channel if you like my stuff. It will enable me to keep doing it. Also, I'm a South African correspondent for Ring Magazine. You can see my column in the World Beat section of that magazine every month. And I also write a blog, www.couchpotatofightguru.blogspot.com. And until I see you again, keep those gloves up.